Okay. So a very good morning to one and all present at this virtual platform of PH Pro webinar series. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Surbala, a distinguished faculty member of Ashok and Rita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy, who will be resource person of today's webinar. Dr. Surbala is an esteemed expert in the field of pediatric neurophysiotherapy, bringing a wealth to knowledge and experience to virtual stage. With the background in the pediatric physiotherapy, Dr. Surbala has dedicated her career to exploring the latest developments and advancement in her field. Her passion for research and teaching has led her to become a prominent figure in academic. Throughout her career, Dr. Surbala has been actively involved in various curricular and extracurricular activities across the university as well. Her dedication to innovation and excellence has made her an invaluable asset to the academic community. In addition, Dr. Surbala is known for her exceptional teaching abilities. Her engaging and informative lectures have been inspired countless students to pursue their academic and professional goals in this rapidly evolving field. Today, we are privileged to have Dr. Surbala as our speaker for this webinar. We are confident that her presentation will be both insightful and thoughtful provoking, offering us new perspective and values insights into role of physiotherapy in pediatrics. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Surbala as we embark on an enlightening journey of knowledge during this webinar on the role of physiotherapy in pediatrics. Yes, ma'am. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Heta ma'am, for the extensive introduction.
Yes, ma'am. So over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. And good morning, one and all present over here. It is happy to see that there is a large number of participants joining in this session. And I hope some of you have already enrolled as a student of Ashok and Rita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy. So I welcome you all. And those who have not yet enrolled as a student yet, you are most welcome if you want to be a part of Ashok and Rita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy. Today, I will be speaking on the role of physiotherapy in pediatrics. And we are aware what is pediatrics, that is managing children and babies who have problems. We will see what are the role we have in this pediatric, in the field of pediatrics. So when we say pediatrics, it is the branch of medicine which is dealing with the children and their diseases. Okay, when we say children, I think you must be aware that in India, we consider less than 18 years as still children. Okay. But the diseases of children are most different from the other age groups, which are younger than 15 or 16 years. 18 years is a legal age of being called as a children. However, the conditions which we mostly see are for children which is younger than 15 years in the field of pediatrics. And after 15 years till 18 years, they are still considered as minor because they do not have the legal rights. However, in diseases less than 15 years of children, we see as in the branch of pediatrics. If they are 16 or 17, they can be equally considered as an adult, depending on some of the other conditions. Some conditions are still like a different, which is present in children. We will see that later on, which all affects children and which you may see in the later ages of like in the adolescent age. So when we say pediatric physiotherapy, it is the treatment and care of babies, children, and young people who has some sort of developmental disorders or childhood disabilities. Developmental disorders in the sense the child does not develop well like a normally, typically developing child. They do not sit on the proper time. They do not walk on the proper time. It is being delayed by months and years. Some children may not walk until they are 5 years old, or even they may not walk at all. So pediatric physiotherapy is dealing with such kind of a children who requires special healthcare needs and who has developmental disorders and other childhood onset disabilities or birth disabilities. So why do we concern about this child development? We are concerned about this child development because the early years of the life is very important for their health and development. So if we give them proper care and guidelines during the early years of your development, then their future development in terms of their functional abilities, in terms of their social abilities, and in terms of their educational needs can be fulfilled. So physiotherapy in pediatrics aims in this healthy development of children, of young children, those who have special healthcare needs. We do not deal with young children unless they have some kind of problem which are typically developing, but we deal with children who requires special healthcare needs. So when we say special healthcare needs, those are children who requires extra precautions and extra care because they have some problem with their health. It can be a functional health, it can be social problems, or it can be education, such as the learning disabilities. Okay, so those children are considered as special healthcare needs, and physiotherapy aims in improving their healthy development or developing their child is relatively to a not typically developing child. So developmental disorders are children. There are so many developmental disorders in children. Some of the commonly seen, I have listed out some of the commonly seen developmental disorders which we see in our day-to-day practice and in our daily OPDs. Those include cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, Down syndrome, epilepsy, or attention deficit hyperactive disorder, autism spectrum disorders, developmental coordination disorders. These are some of the developmental disorders we see in children. You may have heard some of these conditions. Some of the conditions terms may be new for you all. Cerebral palsy affects the brain and it affects the physical ability of a child. They do not develop well, their milestones are not achieved at the right age, and sometimes they become dependent on others for their daily functions. Okay, muscular dystrophy also has a similar, it is a muscle disease. Muscular dystrophy is a muscle disease, and the muscle disease affects a child in a way that the muscles become so weak that they are unable to do any of the functions. I think you have heard of the movie Salam Venki, which is a very popular movie recently, which is based on a real life story of a child with muscular dystrophy. So what problems they face, they are totally dependent on some others, their helpers, their caregivers, their mothers, parents, for all of their daily functions. So physiotherapy will help in improving their functions through their lifetime until they live. Okay. Some other cases are genetic conditions such as Down syndrome. They have intellectual disabilities, mental retardation, along with other functional problems. Epilepsy in children, it leads to other neurological complications, which has problems with the development in children again. Attention deficit hyperactive disorder, autism spectrum. Nowadays, autism is quite common, and especially after the post-COVID autism, the incidence in the autism among the children has spiked up. Okay. So these are also problems where the children have motor skills deficits. They do not perform activities as others. They have learning disabilities. They have behavioral issues, and such kind of problems are dealt with along with pediatric physiotherapy. Other disorders, it is not only limited to these developmental disorders. There are other disorders such as cardiopulmonary disorders. Children who has congenital heart diseases or asthma can be managed well with physiotherapy. And musculoskeletal disorders such as torticollis, it's a muscle disorder. Then deformities, fractures, all these are managed as a part of pediatric. We deal with such kind of a children. And other systemic diseases such as childhood obesity, rickets, then juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. These are some of the systemic conditions which also affects the functioning of the child. Okay. So physiotherapy is helpful in all these conditions. Okay, I have listed only a few conditions over here. There are many other conditions where pediatric physiotherapy is having a role among these childhood diseases and disorders. So what we do as a pediatric physiotherapist. So we focused on managing the problems of a child, like for example, in the first picture, you can see the child has a walking difficulty and the child has not achieved walking. He can only walk using a support, using a walker. So we train them, be able to ambulate in their society, ambulate in their community, so that the child will be able to go to school one day. So this is a focused intervention for an existing problem. Okay. So not only this walking, some children are unable to sit independently by themselves. They are unable to eat by themselves. They are unable to use their fingers, their hands for performing certain activities. So we focus on their problems and manage the problems. Okay. Not only managing the problems, we also facilitate play among in the second picture, we facilitate play among their peer groups, among their friends, making friends, because this will help in improving their social and emotional components, such as sharing toys and playing with peers. So those are being facilitated among children. Okay. So facilitating play. Along with the development of children who has learning disabilities, we focus on improving their intellectual capacity, on their learning skills, on their fine motor skills. Okay, so by doing certain activities, it is not only focused on exercise. We give many other components along with giving the exercises, such as improving their play and improving their learning abilities. Okay. So this is some of the actions which we normally do as a physiotherapist for children who has a disability. And it starts right from the beginning, during the newborn phase. Okay, newborn care, neonatal care for newborn children who has problems with respiration, who are born with a very low weight. Say, for example, the birth weight which we accept is around 2.5 kilograms and above. But if the child is very low, say, for example, 1.5 kilo or less than 2 kilograms, then they land up with certain complications such as breathing problems and then neurological problems, and they do not grow well, okay, in the early phases of life. So during the early phases, during their in the newborn phase, treatment is given so that we help them in breathing properly, in movement. Okay, so children, infants usually move a lot. So if they have less mobility, it will affect their growth and development. They will not be hungry if they do not move. If they do not cry, they will not be hungry. And when they do not eat properly, again, they will not grow properly. So during the initial stages, early intervention is given in order to improve their mobility, spontaneous actions, and also help in improving their breathing capacity if they have problems with the breathing. They do not cry well. So activities and exercises are also incorporated at this early phase during the newborn phase. Okay. So sometimes there may be secretions. Because of the secretions, they do not breathe properly. Okay. The lung may be filled with fluid because they have some problems at the time of birth. And those problems can be improved, can be treated by physiotherapy, by proper positioning and providing movement. So it starts from the newborn phase. Okay. Then we also include fitness and sports facilitation for children who has special healthcare needs. So you can see here is a picture of a group of children who has learning disabilities, who have Down syndrome, who are hearing and visual deficits. So we improve physical fitness as well as facilitate them to participate in sports. And here you can see a team of students who has participated at national and international level sports in taekwondo, in judo, then in a race. Okay, so there are different categories. We also give physical fitness exercises for these children. These are students from a nearby school we have in Nadiad. Those who are from Nadiad and Anand, you must be knowing it is a special school. Known as a Maitri Sanstha. Okay, and this school facilitates children who have special healthcare needs and train them to participate in their sports. Okay, and they are able to bring so many prizes. Okay, with their participation, and our team help them in improving their fitness to facilitate them in their sports participation. Okay. Next is a school health program. Okay, these are children. They do not have any problem, but generally we give them a health promotion program. Here we are showing a video on the health and hygiene of during the menstrual period of young children. Okay, they are all in the pubertal age. They are in 6th, 7th standard students. So they are unaware of this menstrual health and hygiene. So we also include school health promotion by providing health and hygiene education at the school level. Okay, so we have a lot of schools, most schools who does not have the proper facilities of toilet or any other utilities, or these children are poor enough, okay, and that they are unable to afford the sanitary napkins, sanitary pads. So they should be aware of, if they are using a cloth, then how that hygiene has to be maintained. Okay, so we also provide or extend our a role among the school children, young school children, young school girls of a rural area. Okay, these are from the rural area, and mostly government schools where they are unable to afford the internet facilities, where they are unable to afford the like daily hygiene products. So for them also, we give them education, and along with providing education, we also provide them free sanitary pads. So these are some of the activities which we perform as a part of improving the health in children. Okay, similar program is on the health education among the school children. Okay, so a health education program is conducted on various topics where we see whether they have appropriate health education or not. Okay, so we are assessing whether they have health education through a paper, okay, which has written what are their answers. Depending on their answers, we identify whether they need some kind of an intervention, whether they need some kind of an health education program or not. Okay, so and our team members, our students and faculties reach over there and give them health education among young school children. And we also facilitate physical exercise at the school level. Okay, so from time to time, students and faculties from our institute go to various schools and help in improving their physical activities. Okay, how the importance, and spread the awareness of the importance of physical exercises in their daily health, in their daily routine. So all those promotional activities, as well as imparting our use and information among the children, is also provided. Okay, so we have visited many schools in and around our area, and this will continue every year. And anybody, it is not only the duty of a physiotherapist, but as we are healthcare professionals who are dealing with exercise and specialists in exercise, giving physical exercises and advising them exercise would be the best role of a physiotherapist among these young school children. Okay, this will help us to guide them in a proper way, what kind of exercise, who needs exercise. Anyway, everybody needs exercise. It's not limited to a single population, to young children or old people, okay, or elderly people. It is not that it is limited to a single population. Everybody needs exercise. Okay, so nowadays it is a situation that we are stuck to our mobile phones and we are stuck to our screen, and the physical activity has been reduced. Okay, so the physiotherapy group, the students and faculties from our center, we go to various centers, we go to various schools as well as nearby localities and promote these physical exercises, and how these physical exercises can be done in a fun way. Sometimes people think that kasrat karna bahut boring hai. Okay, so how this physical exercise can be done in a fun and enjoyable way is being promoted at various school levels. Then we also provide a skill development and facilitation. Okay, so here we can see it is from the Maitri Sanstha, which I talked about. This is a skill facilitation. The students over there in the Maitri Sanstha, the inmates of those, they have various skills which they are able to do. So this was an exhibition which we had conducted during the Diwali festival, where they had prepared the diyas and many other decorative items for a Diwali function, and these students were selling it. Okay, they prepared it in their centers and they helped in selling, and we kept an exhibition where our students and faculties actively participated in buying those products made by the special children. Okay, Divyang Balako, that is what the special children, okay, who has difficulties, and this will help in promoting their income as well. This will facilitate them how to do a job and be inclusive in the society, considering that they are also useful. They can consider this will promote them, helping identify themselves as useful citizens of the country. So this is also a skill development and facilitation. As we are involved with these children who are having special healthcare needs, we not only deal with exercises, we also deal with their skill development for their employment, for their school inclusion, and be inclusive in the society. We should not think them as a different special healthcare needs or they are disabled. We should try to be able to make them inclusive in our society, in our day-to-day activities. So this is also a kind of activity we as a physiotherapist do, because we are closely related with these children who has special healthcare needs. Next is a family collaboration. Okay, a family, when a child is affected with some kind of a problem, it is not only the child who has that disease or disorder, the entire family is affected. The mother is stressed, the father is worried, then the grandfathers, they have different problems. Okay, and they will the siblings also is affected, because most of the care is given to a child who has special health care needs, so the other siblings are also affected. So family collaboration is also a very important activity which we perform as a physiotherapist. As a physiotherapist, we need to deal with these children for at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours. We talk with them, we give exercise with them, and we spend a lot of time with these children along with their families. So we have come up with a very good relationship. Okay, it is not only us, any physiotherapist who is working with the patients, especially young children, they become greatly involved with their family life. Okay, they start telling, even if we don't ask, the families come and start telling their problems. Okay, I have this problem, I have difficulty at home, मैं नहीं कल क्यों नहीं आया, कल घर में ऐसा problem हुआ. So we hear so many stories from the families. So it is also important for us to collaborate these family members and actively participate in the rehabilitation of the child. They are already stressed and they have a problem, and they have their mental status is not well, because they already have a child who is not functioning well, who is not similar to others. Okay, and on that other problem, they also have other family issues. Okay, so we try to solve some of these family issues by collaborating them, by making them into groups and make them talk with each other, share their problems with each other, so they feel that they are inclusive. They are not the only ones who are suffering. There are also other people who are in the same boat. So that gives an emotional support and social support from the other family members, and we are obviously there to facilitate these kind of events. Okay, so from time to time we can conduct events where we include the families. Okay, so we can see the pictures where we had a party along with all the family members. Okay, sharing our like sorrows and joy together, as well as we also include fun activities which are done for the children in collaboration with the children. Okay, in the next second picture, we see a group of families and their children are making a creative painting competition. Okay, which is done at the department. So these kind of activities make the parents more involved in the treatment of their children, and at least we can relieve some of the stress which they have in their life due to the condition of the child. Okay, not only from the problems of the child, but also the condition of the child. Then we can also provide voluntary services. Okay, these are pictures and glimpses from an orphanage which we have nearby. Okay, so from an orphanage, and children in the orphanage, there are lots of children in the orphanage, and these children in orphanage are malnourished because they are not being breastfed. They are on formula milk and their nutrition is not proper. Their play is being compromised because they do not communicate well with others. There are one caregiver is taking care of 10 children. Okay, so their social communication skills, as well as their speaking skills and their physical activity, is much reduced compared to children who is growing up at home, at a homely environment, when there are so many people to take care of that child. Okay, so we also extend our voluntary service to a nearby orphanage. Okay, and help them in the development by giving them play activities and giving focus exercise for those children who has problems. Okay, so those children who has problems, such as those who have developmental problems, they do not develop at their age, not only because of the disease, but because they are malnourished and they are not growing well, and hence they have developmental disorders. So this is also one of the activity which a physiotherapist can perform voluntarily. It may not be paid all the time. Okay, the service which we provide is not a paid service, but sometimes we have to be having a good heart, a kind heart, to be providing this kind of a service to the needy population. Okay, we cannot always think of earning the money. Healthcare is a very noble profession, and we should be able to provide free service, voluntary services to the needy people wherever it is possible. Okay, when we have patients who can afford a lot of cost on the treatment of the child, obviously we can charge them like ethically, we can charge them appropriately. But for those children who requires intervention and they do not have anything to pay for it, we can provide a voluntary service. Okay, so this is also an extension of our activities at different levels, okay, in children on. And apart from all these like activities, physiotherapy is not only exercise and giving what is important for the child, but it is also to spread joy and fun among the families, among the children, by giving them opportunities to celebrate different celebrations. Okay, so because we have been closely related with these families and children for so many years, if you see in a pediatrician, if you visit a pediatrician, if you visit any kind of a doctor, you will visit there for 10 minutes, half an hour, maybe, unless you are admitted over there, you may visit with a doctor for 10 minutes. But when these children come for the treatment in a physiotherapy center, we spend with them per day, we spend with them a minimum of 1 hour. Okay, sometimes 1 hour is less. We cannot do all the exercises in 1 hour because they are children. They get tired. Sometimes they are hungry. They will drink, they will eat, they will rest. And then 1 hour is not sufficient. Sometimes we spend more than 1 hour. Okay, and they come here for years. Okay, so you can see in these pictures, they are around 3 years, 2 years, 5 years children. And these children has been coming here over months and years. So through this process, we develop a relationship with them, and involving them in our celebrations is also important. Time to time, we try to make them have fun in their life. Why fun is always for the normal children, even if they have some problem, if they have some disabilities, fun is also their part. So we can also help in spreading the joy and fun among these children. And it is not limited. There can be many other role of physiotherapy specific to the education. Nowadays, there has been conditions, which I said, autism has been significantly increasing. Children with autism does not have a problem with their motor skills. Sometimes they have more issues with their social communication. So through these group activities, they learn how to mingle with the society. They learn how to communicate with others. They learn how to be playing with others, have a group play. So all those skills are also being improved through these kind of activities. That particular role, a physiotherapist is the best way to perform. Apart from any other school teachers, a physiotherapist is the one who can perform that activity in the best way for children who has special healthcare needs, because we spend a lot of time with these children, and we have this attachment. You already create a compassion and care for these children when you see them, and hence we are the best person to facilitate such kind of activities. And I'm going back again. So this in the newborn phase, during the newborn phase, it is the treatment duration may vary from 5 days to 6 days to a week. Sometimes you may see that the newborn children, they may stay for 2 to 3 months in the NICU, that is a neonatal intensive care unit in the NICU. Okay, or they may be discharged in around a week or so. So during that period of staying in their NICU, 3 months in a bed lying down without doing any activity. If you see a normally typical developing child, by 3 months, they are already able to roll over and do some activities, they smile, but they are, if they are in the hospital lying on a bed for a long period of time, there are so many problems which may arise in their later life. Okay, so our care will extend not only in their newborn phase, but also help them develop. And once they are discharged from this phase again, they may land up with severe complications, which may further lead to developmental issues, which may further lead to neurological issues. So identifying the problem and then focusing on those problems, and even teaching the parents of how to take care of their newborn child is an important role which we have in the newborn phase. Okay, so teaching the mothers, the child is a sickly child. Some parents may be new parents, and this is the first child of the parents, and hence they are unable to handle the child with this kind of an illness and with this kind of a sickness. So physiotherapists can help them teach proper handling techniques of how to carry the child if the child is sick, and how to make them feed properly, how to position them, how to dress well. So all these activities can be taught from time to time to the parents, not only the children at this phase. Okay, so we start involving the families and parents right from the early ages. The skill enhancement is not only on these special skills. Okay, skill enhancement includes the usual skills, the typical skills which we have, such as eating, drinking, dressing for ourselves, playing, or driving. Okay, whichever. Play for a child, it is riding a bicycle is an important skill which he has to learn by the age of around 4 to 5 years. Every children, typically developing child. So those kind of skill development which the child lacks in their particular age group is being facilitated. Not only the special skills of employment which they have, but we also focus on the various skills a child has during their developmental age. For example, by 1 year old or 2 year old, the child should be able to feed themselves by holding something on their hand. Okay, they are able to feed themselves normally, a finger food. They'll be holding it in their hand and put that eatable in their mouth. So children who has a special healthcare needs, they lack these kind of a daily functional skill. Okay, so daily functional skill can also be facilitated by physiotherapy, by teaching them proper techniques, by improving their hand grip. Okay, they may not be able to hold it because they do not have a hand grip. Okay, their hands are weak, or their mouth opening or their neck is not in a proper posture. So such kind of problems may exist in young children. So skills from from the early age to even an adulthood, whatever skills they are required for that particular age, that is being taught with the help of physiotherapy, and those are facilitated with the help of focused exercise targeted into that particular muscle which is responsible for the weakness of that particular action. Say, for example, if there is a weakness, or if the child is unable to walk, we may have to see if they have weakness in their legs, or if is there any deformity in the legs, they are unable to stand properly. So we are focusing on each particular problem which they have. Okay, so the skills not only mean the skills of employment or any other special skills they have or creativity they have, but it is the daily functional skill. Okay, so those are being facilitated with the help of physiotherapy. And it is all about what is the role of physiotherapy in a pediatric population. These are only a few of the activities which I have mentioned, shared in the form of pictures, which is taken from the department, and the kind of activities which we do. There are many other physiotherapists who even provides special healthcare in terms of their needs, such as speech therapy. If the child is not able to talk with the proper words in their time, speech therapy is provided in collaboration with exercises of the mouth. Okay, exercises of the mouth are also focus exercise. Okay, and with the help of the exercise of the mouth, the child is being taught how to make words, how to make sounds, and produce that appropriate speech to communicate. So speech therapy is also, there is a specialist speech therapist which is not an inclusion in the physiotherapy, but physiotherapy centers often work together with these multi-speciality, such as speech therapists, such as audiologists, and other such as orthotics, who provide them walking sticks, who provide them special shoes and special braces so that they are able to function properly. So we work in collaboration with other other healthcare professionals in the form of speech therapists, then the pediatrician, the neurologist, the orthotics, the occupational therapist. Okay, so all these work collaboratively along with physiotherapy in order to make the child the most functional as per the potential the child has. Some may not achieve all the functions which we are targeting for. It depends upon their severity of the problem. Okay, some children are able to achieve and participate well in the school as well as in other activities despite of their disability, because their disability is less severe. But not all the children are able to achieve every function which we aim for. Okay, some may have their limitations. Okay, so we have seen, I have given the example of Salam Venki, that was a condition of muscular dystrophy. Okay, children with muscular dystrophy, they may relatively be normal for around 2 years. After that, their functions slowly declines. Okay, they have difficulty in walking, they have difficulty in stair climbing, they have difficulty in standing. Later on, they will be seated on a wheelchair. From a wheelchair down, they are unable to sit properly. Then they will be bedridden. So this gradually progresses from time, and by the age of around 20 years, okay, in their late teenagers and in their early 20s, they may have a fatal incident that they will die of their condition. Okay, so not all will be like helpful or be able to increase their functions with the help of physiotherapy, but in that time period where they are involved with physiotherapy, they can live the best life out of their life. Okay, so we can improve their quality of life, we can improve their happiness. Okay, when we say quality of life, it includes happiness, mental peace, and other areas where we can enjoy life when we are living. Okay, so those can be improved with the help of physiotherapy. Some conditions which we see in pediatrics are like developed later on. Okay, they are acquired, not present since birth, but they are acquired. For example, a fracture. A child with a fracture it may not be present from birth. It is a fracture because of a fall. So at 5 years, the child had a fall from the bed. He was acting like a Superman, jumped down from the bed, and then he had a fracture. Okay, and such kind of incidents happen. So it's this fracture for it's a momentary period of time, but helping them recover in the proper manner without the presence of deformities. If the fracture is not being healed properly, it can lead to deformities. The hand is crooked, the hand becomes, or the elbow is bent. Okay, so such kind of problems may exist. These are temporary problems. However, if not managed well, it can lead to other complications. So if the elbow is not bending properly, it will affect the eating function of the child. So these are some of the acquired conditions which are seen later on. Sports injuries, play in a school and then had a fracture, a fall down, there was a cut injury, any accidents. Okay, so such kinds are also being managed by physiotherapy, helping them recover at the right time, okay, without delaying, so that they can return to their functions as soon as possible. Okay, they can return to their school, they can return to their play. Okay, if the school is being like a delayed for a long period, play is delayed for a long period of time, it may land up with other issues. So physiotherapy also helps in achieving the recovered state in the right period of time by providing proper intervention and proper exercises. Then some conditions may sustain for a long period of time, such as asthma. Okay, asthma is a problem which is maybe seen in children as well as adults. Okay, and it may persist for a longer period of time. But physiotherapy may be helpful, is helpful in teaching these children how to deal with such kind of a situation. We teach them proper breathing exercises. We teach them activities and pacing the activities. If you have asthma or hyperventilation after running for this period of time, at what intensity, at what pace you're supposed to run, what is the rest time, what is the rest period, those are being taught during the school play activities, what should be avoided and what can be played. All those advice and exercises and focused on that particular problem are also being dealt by physiotherapy, who are specialists in exercise and hence have a role in multiple other conditions as well. Okay. Then some of the other conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis. Yesterday, I think you have heard about osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is a degenerative condition which is seen in elderly individuals, and rheumatoid arthritis may be seen in children. Okay, juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, it may affect the heart, it may affect the joints, and it may affect the body system itself. Okay, the child will be generally weak, and those who have juvenile arthritis, joint arthritis, the joints become so painful that they are unable to perform any of the functions. Okay, so physiotherapy is also on managing the pain. We have so many pain improving modalities and treatment and exercises focused on reducing these pain. So if because of the pain, if they do not move the joints, the joints become stiff and it is become like a hard wood that it is unable to join and move anymore. Okay, so that will affect many of the functions. So with the help of physiotherapy, we are able to provide improve proper functions in these children. Okay, by reducing their pain and by reducing their function, by improving their strength. Okay, so such kind of exercises and focus intervention are being provided by physiotherapy. These are a few. There are many others. I may not list out all, and it is beyond the scope of the intervention. For studying the pediatrics, we have another 2 years of master's program, which requires at least 2 years. And after that, also there are higher studies to be focused. Okay, so in this 1 hour of session, I may not be able to complete what role the physiotherapy has at different sections of the population in different diseases. I think I have given you a bit of an idea of what role we can do for children as a physiotherapist. Okay, it is giving focus exercise, making them play well, making them go to school at the right time, and have them being included in the society as similar to other normal children, and improve their daily functions and quality of life. Okay, so this is, and quality of life as a child. Okay, they are child, they should be like a child, they should be able to play. Okay, so that is the role of a physiotherapist. And that's all from my side. If you have any questions on what other role we may have, or if you have any queries, you can ask.
Students, if you are having any query related to the pediatric physiotherapy, you can ask. Please turn on your camera, everyone. Okay, can anyone give feedback what you have learned today? Ayushi Shah. In any language, Gujarati, Hindi, English, you can share your experience. Okay, if you want, you can write into the chat box also.
Okay, you can just say whether you have learned something new or not.
Yes, we have learned something new about the small.
You have learned something new. Okay.
It might be, yes, amazing session from Prajapati Seal. Okay.
Have you seen any children who has such problems among your family members, among your society, in your locality? Have you seen any children?
Ma'am, one question from Bihar, that it's is it not rheumatoid arthritis and autoimmune disorder? How does it get affected to the small children?
Yeah, autoimmune disorder, when you say it is affecting everyone, isn't it? It can be seen in elderly, it can be seen at any age, and it is a disorder, so it is seen in children also. Okay, so it is not only affecting the adults, it can target at any age group. In the children, this arthritis affects the joints as well as the heart. Okay, rheumatic heart disease, you might have heard, rheumatoid arthritis, okay, and even ankylosing spondylosis, when it is seen in elder AS, okay, they are seen in adults also. It can affect an AS. Autoimmune disorder does not define a particular age. Okay, there are many other autoimmune disorders such as GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome. It also affects the children as well as the adults. Okay, so it can affect the children. It is attacking the immune system. So immune system can be attacked at any age group. And it is linked with a particular kind of gene. Okay, and if those people who have that particular gene, they are more susceptible to such kind of a disease. Okay.
Any other questions, students? So today you have seen that previously you see disability in another way. Like whenever you see any disabled person, your perception, it is different. And now it might be changed that whenever you are learning physiotherapy, you think that how can we help them to get a better life? And when you learn during your BPT, then you see that how you can help any people who are disabled, that may be pediatric patient or maybe a younger child also. So that you will learn during your bachelor time. Thank you, ma'am, for giving very good information about pediatric department and what is the role of physiotherapist in a pediatric population. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this session. Have a nice day, all of you.
Same to you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
Everyone
leave, isn't it?
Yes, yes, everyone can leave and we will join for tomorrow's session, same time. Okay. Have a good day, everyone.